The secondary lesions are like, hey, there was some type of trauma to the skin. The body began to repair itself or attempt to repair itself, and it created a new lesion. So here we go. Here are some examples: scales, crusts, erosions, excoriations, or atrophy. It's literally like the wasting away of your skin. Ooh, look at them heels, honey. So I used to work with a woman who, like, her heels continue to look like this to the point where it would bleed. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal Daly and I'm the Beauty and Brains Coach, and I am a cosmetology tutor here to help cosmetology graduates get their license. Today's video is all about diseases and disorders of the skin. I made a nail disease and disorder video that you guys love, so hopefully this video is very helpful. I have a private class where I tutor a small group of people monthly. So this is where this information came from. If you're like, who is these people? Who's she talking to? That's what you're experiencing. If you are interested in that experience, shoot me an email, slide into my DM, and I can get you on the wait list. Talk to you soon. Bye. You have like second degree burns and it's like a real big deal, and like maybe the burn blister is like your whole entire arm, and you do have to like burst the blister due to discomfort, you should go to a medical professional for that, because then they would wrap it and keep that skin like protected. Fun facts. I told y'all I geek out on it. Here we are. Now we have a macule. So a macule is going to be a flat spot or discoloration in the skin. It's going to be a different color than the surrounding skin. So next to macule, you can put in parentheses a freckle. And remember, we're not talking about diseases or disorders just yet. We're literally just talking about different blisters. Like your client walks in with a bump or a lump or some type of something change in their skin. Can you label that lesion like, oh, this is a pimple. Oh, this is a freckle. Oh, this is a burn blister. That's all we're doing right now to like organize your thoughts.
It says, wait. Okay. Discoloration.
So, I love my keywords. If I'm going to underline keywords or things that I'm going to like pay attention to or point out, the fact that it's a flat spot, the discoloration, different than the surrounding skin. So if I'm taking notes, or I'm not even taking notes, if I'm creating a flashcard, I'm going to have macule on one side. If I'm a visual person, I might even draw me like a little face with some little dots on it, because it's gonna, when I'm studying alone, it's gonna bring back this moment. So I'm gonna have the picture on one side, the definition on one side, and then the name on another side. Maybe where you have the word macule, you draw a little girl with dots on her face. So you associate macule with little girl with dots on her face, and then it'll help your brain switch over to the definition. Can I change the slide?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have a papule. A papule is a pimple with no pus. So it's our time of the month, our skin is all crazy, and you get this little pimple like right here. You have this hot date tonight and you're like, what is this pimple? So now you're picking at it, pushing at it, and there's nothing coming out of it. That is a papule. The key word is no pus. Now that papule becomes inflamed and there is pus present, it is now a pustule. Like literally the word pus is in pustule. So fun. All right, still talking about lesions. Let's talk about a tumor. So a tumor is going to, when you hear the word tumor, people instantly go like cancer, right? While cancer can create tumors, you can have a tumor that is not cancerous. So a tumor that is not cancerous is considered benign, so like not harmful. And it's literally just an abnormal cell mass that can vary in size, shape, or color. So for whatever reason, these cells are just growing crazy, doing their own thing. They're not following the instructions. They're not making normal, natural skin how they should be. They're making something else. What this picture is a picture of a malignant melanoma tumor. So malignant melanoma is the worst version of skin cancer. If I'm creating flashcards the important bullet point is this first one, and it's abnormal cell mass. All right, so we just talked about all of our primary lesions. We know primary lesions are what show up first to the party when something is wrong. A secondary lesion are skin changes, such as like piles of material on the surface of the skin. And I have a picture of that. So I'm giving you a little example, like what kind of skin changes could you possibly be talking about, Crystal? That develop as the result of the body's response to a primary lesion. It is usually a part of the body's healing process. So the secondary lesions are like, hey, there was some type of trauma to the skin. The body began to repair itself or attempt to repair itself, and it created a new lesion. So here we go. Here are some examples. Scales, crusts, erosions, excoriations, or atrophy. It's literally like the wasting away of your skin. Ooh, look at them heels, honey. So I used to work with a woman who, like, her heels continue to look like this to the point where it would bleed. And I just could, like, doesn't that hurt? Don't you like, I don't know. But these are called fissures, and we're going to talk about them here. It's probably, Did you get it?
These are the scales and the okay. You're about to go that.
Hold on, teacher.
You say what?
Hold on.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Yell at me. Be like, girl, wait a minute. Because I'll just be scrolling and talking. I told you I love this stuff. Daddy needs some vitamin E oil on them heels. Has anybody ever gone to a dermatologist? No?
I used to take my daughter to one.
Okay. So you know about the experience.
I'm sorry, that what?
I said, so you know about the experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a dermatologist that I see on a regular.
Okay. So you, again, aware of these words and the experience. Like, skin is just a whole vibe on its own. Like, what you eat, what you drink, your detergent, your sun exposure. If you have if you have a condition like eczema or psoriasis, like how like different foods can trigger that. Behind the chair, different shampoos and conditioners, you know what I mean, can trigger that. So it is really huge.
I actually just a couple months ago just had, like, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I never had eczema my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden one day I just had like a really bad breakout of eczema, like all over my body. I have no clue where it came from. Like, it was to the point where I was in the bed, like nothing was helping. They ended up having to give me prednisone.
Steroids
to get it like under control. Like, I literally feel like my whole body was being attacked.
So psoriasis, eczema, like, I'm not a doctor, but I guess like the way I understand it, it's an autoimmune disease. So when you hear autoimmune, imagine your immune system attacking stuff it shouldn't be attacking. So basically, like, your immune system was like attacking your skin. That's why you felt like
it was wild. Like, it was crazy. I'm like, because I know like a lot of times like people have eczema as kids,
and they,
but
like,
I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm like, so all of a sudden out of nowhere when I'm 30, I just
were you under a lot of stress?
Eczema. I don't think I was under, nothing more than like the usual daily, like life stress, but yeah, it was just crazy. It was crazy. Like, at first they was trying to give me like the steroid cream, like, but that was not helping. It got to the point where I'm like, listen, I need something. I need to take something, and literally
to inject something inside of me. I got you.
Literally, when I took the prednisone, like right away, like you could just like my body like calm down, like right away.
Turn your immune system off. It literally, so without getting all into, I told you I'm crazy, y'all. It literally suppressed your immune system a little bit. It literally like turned the volume down on your immune system, so it allowed you to like breathe a little bit. That's literally how it works. That's literally how it works. I have a client, she also has an autoimmune disease. Hers manifests differently, and she's on steroids, and slowly but surely they're trying to like decrease her steroids. But as soon as she does that, her immune system
come back
ramping up again. Yep. So it's just that constant, like, naturally, what do I do to, like, do I need to meditate? Do I need to exercise, reduce my stress, use my medicinal stuff from the doctor, and then just like see how my body responds? Cool beans. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, so so now we're going to jump into our different secondary lesions. So the first one I have is crust. So we done all been here. I was an outside kid. I used to ride my bike. And you fall off that bike, you got this for like 3 weeks. So crest is going to be dead cells that form over a wound during the healing process. So again, there was some type of trauma to the skin. So now we have this like opened wound. As it heals, now you have this crest or the scab over the skin. All right, next we have fissures. So fissures are going to be cracks in the skin that can penetrate all the way down to the epidermis or to the dermis layer, excuse me. So the cracks begin in the epidermis. The cracks begin in the dry portion of the skin. But if you don't keep your skin moisturized, if you don't keep your skin hydrated, those cracks are going to burrow deeper and deeper into your true skin. And then that's where it hurts. We may not have experienced fissures on our heels like this, but we've all experienced cracked lips. Maybe, sorta. Chicago, I know y'all done had it. It's cold. It's cold here in
No, you
Cleveland.
did.
You know what I'm saying? It's cold. I know y'all cold. Y'all done had
So like you said that this happens, you just said something right before you started going into that, saying that it
starts at the epidermis, so the outermost layer.
Okay.
But because your skin is so dry, it keeps burrowing deep into the dermis.
Okay. That's not what you said, but it kind of had clicked for me. I think you said something about like it starts at the crack.
So I think that's what I said. I might have worded it differently, but it's the cracks start at the epidermis, like the outside, and it goes all the way to the inside. Okay. So think about having chapped lips. So it's cold in Cleveland. It's cold and it's dry. So you lick your lips to keep them moisturized, but eventually they become drier and drier and drier. And the first couple times you lick your lips, you don't really feel those cracks, but then you do one really good one and it's like, ooh, that kind of burned a little bit. That is a fissure in your lip. I think we feel good. Next, we have a keloid. So when we anytime I think of keloids, I always think about like getting your ears pierced. Keloids can exist anywhere on the skin. A keloid is a thick scar resulting from excessive growth of fibrous tissue. So for whatever reason, during the healing process, your body ramps up and begins to make tougher, stronger tissue than necessary. Instead of giving me like a regular healed wound, you're giving me this tough fibrous tissue to heal this wound. And that's like a keloid, or what's considered a keloid. Can I change the slide?
Yes.
All right. I have a nice zoomed in version of scales or epidermal flakes. An epidermal flake or a scale is going to be any thin or dry, oily plate of skin. That is legit dandruff. You can literally see the holes that the hair actually were living in at that point. And she was bleeding a little bit. All right, next we have an ulcer. An ulcer is going to be an open lesion of the skin or the mucous membrane accompanied by pus, characterized by a loss of skin depth. So this is a tricky one. People always get stumbled and fumbled on this. So if I think about an ulcer, it's nothing but a bed sore. So basically, the skin is open. It's an open lesion. When they say mucous membrane, so your mucous membrane is any part of your body that feels like the inside of your mouth.
Say that again.
So the inside of your mouth, your cheek, like the inside, if you were to stick your finger in your mouth and feel the inside of your cheek.
And that's an open lesion?
That is your mucous membrane. Does that make sense?
It's the inside of your mouth? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Any area of your body that feels like the inside of your mouth.
Any area of the body.
That is called your mucous membrane. So the outside of your cheek is just your natural skin. That's the first part of the question. The inside of your cheek is your mucous membrane. So an ulcer is an open lesion that can live on your natural skin or your mucous membrane. That's the first part of that definition. And there's going to be pus, and there's also going to be a loss of skin depth. There's going to be a hole in the skin tissue. So I'm taking that definition and just trying to like make it regular so my 10-year-old niece can understand it. So instead of me reading an open lesion of the skin or mucous membrane accompanied by pus and character loss by skin depth, I'm going to say, hey, an ulcer is a bed sore, right? That can live on the skin or on the mucous membrane. You just got to remember what mucous membrane is. And there's going to be pus and a hole in the skin. That's the loss of skin depth part. How we feeling? Talk to me, y'all. Does that definition make sense?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Cool beans. And we are amazing on time. So I'm going to keep it pushing. All right, a comedo. So a comedo is a hair follicle filled with sebum and or keratin, and it can be known as a blackhead or whitehead. So I have a little video for us to watch. So I'm gonna, period. Yes, link. Oh, wait, y'all probably can't see that. So let's pull this up. Like fantastic.
EDO. A blackhead is going to be an open comedo, whereas a whitehead is going to be a closed comedo. Blackhead has sebum, oil. Well, sebum is oil, so I don't got, but debris, dirt, whereas a whitehead is just sebum with no dirt or debris. Yeah, so those are like basically clogged hair follicles. So not pores, but hair follicles. Every blackhead you see being removed was potentially a home that the hair lived in, and it's just impacted with so much sebum. Sometimes you can see the little hairs like in. Okay, so blackhead versus.
All right, how do we feel about that? Did we know that about blackheads and whiteheads, the difference, the technical term for them?
I know that video.
Nasty.
Hold on, would you say what? You said nasty, and what
I
you
said,
say?
I said nasty. Ugh.
Nasty. Okay, do you all remember being like little? Sometimes I do it now, where you like take like something and like push against your nose, and you see the little white worms come out of them, right? That's
Yeah.
that's a whitehead. That's literally sebum. Remember, I talked about the follicle. Remember, I showed you that little sebaceous gland attached to the hair. That's just all it is. It's oil.
My ex-husband, he had very, very, and so curly hair, so he used to get a lot of these, and he would,
Okay.
because like the curlier, like the hair, sometimes it doesn't come through. So
Okay, so what you are describing is an ingrown hair. So his hair would like grow in and dig out. This is in the same exact area, but it's not hair causing the problem. It's oil causing the problem.
Oh, okay.
Right. I got another. Let's see. Oh, listen here. I'm just
A good blackhead.
Hold on. I need to show y'all this video. It's another blackhead video. Okay.
Extraction video, right? So a blackhead is a comedo, and a comedo is nothing but a hair follicle that has impacted sebum, oil, dirt, and debris. As licensed cosmetologists who are trained, we can extract these comedos. Yeah, Stateboard review time. Now, who don't love a good blackhead extraction video, right? So a blackhead is a comedo.
Let me cut this off.
And a comedo is nothing but a hair follicle that has impacted sebum.
Okay, I'm back. Go ahead. I can hear you. I think it was
Okay, so is that the same as like when you see a bump or something and it has like white pus coming out? Is that the same?
No.
Or is that a whitehead?
No. So whiteheads and blackheads are only oil. It's all oil. So if I go that's not what I want.
So from what you're saying, these are due to the oil sitting up under the skin.
Yep.
So which one has white pus coming out? Is that something different?
So when you use the word pus, that means you're talking about an infection. And if there's pus present, it's a pustule. So know if what you're calling pus, like pus is like I literally pop a pimple on my nose.
Yes.
White stuff ooze out. That's the pustule. That's the pustule. Now, if I were to take my driver's license, we done all done this. Take my driver's license and slide it against my skin, and like these wiggly white worms come rolling out, those are whiteheads.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it.
The only thing in a whitehead is oil. A blackhead has oil and dirt. That's why it's black. If you notice when the blackheads come out, the top of it is black and then everything underneath is just oil. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, yep.
Awesome. Great.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let me get rid of all. I got so many things open so I can't see. Stop sharing. Share. All right, so let's keep it pushing. Okay, we did these. We talked about all the blackheads, and we feel good about blackheads versus whiteheads.
Yes.
All right, next we have Milia. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's these teeny tiny flesh colored bumps that usually live around the eye area. Excuse me. Sometimes they also live on little baby's face, not baby acne. It's these little keratin-filled cysts. So Milia is a benign. So benign means like non-cancerous. It's not the end of the world. A benign keratin-filled cyst that appears just beneath the epidermis, and there's no visible opening. So you may want to like pick it off or squeeze it out, but there's no actual head for you to rupture or for you to bust, right? With this Milia, because people ask me this all the time. It was like, oh my God, I did have this. Or I remember I used to have this on my face and I didn't know how to get rid of it. Exfoliate. So when I say exfoliating is bumping off that like polishing that top layer, that cornea, the stratum corneum we talked about earlier. Exfoliation, when you taking your brush, your mechanical brush, or you taking your exfoliant and you're doing that, you're sloughing off or getting off that dead skin. When you don't get off the dead skin, it kind of just hangs out and like just balls up, and hence the Milia. I'm gonna keep it pushing. All right, let's talk about acne. So acne is a disorder of your sebaceous glands. Like if you have acne or you have a guest that's complaining of acne, the real challenge is that your sebaceous glands, so your oil glands, produce a lot of oil, or at least good amounts of oil. And the bacteria that eats this oil, the bacteria that eats these fatty acids, right? They are literally hanging out in your skin. And that's where the congestion, that's where the inflammation, that's where the problem happens. I just showed you where your sebaceous glands lived at. So it's underneath the skin, in the true skin, where it's alive, where all those nerve endings are. And that's why it gets inflamed and it's painful, because it's literally inflaming the true area of your skin, or the true layer of your skin. I also have seborrheic dermatitis. This is also inflammation of the sebaceous glands, and it can be characterized by red, itchy, flaky skin in the scalp and in the hairline area. So the very first slide we started class off with, that young lady had seborrheic dermatitis. Come on. There we go. So again, it's scaly, itchy. This is how it manifests in adults. And then in children, we know it as cradle cap. Anybody's baby had cradle cap? My little baby had cradle cap, like,
Yeah.
but I was like, oh no, we about to get rid of that immediately. If you've never seen cradle cap before, this is a really bad case of it. So it looks slightly different in infants, but it's literally the same condition. All right, next. You want me to go back? Yep. My bad. Let me know when I can change the slide.
Okay, you can change it. Thank you.
Perfect.
No, hold on. Sorry.
Okay, you can go ahead and finish. I'm teaching at my salon right now. Do y'all hear my clients yelling through the door?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, rosacea. So rosacea is characterized by redness, flushing, or pimple-like bumps. So technically, if you were to go to a dermatologist, they characterize rosacea like a form of acne, right? So imagine like the same challenges that an acne guest has, but then there's this inflammation and this redness and this extra sensitivity on top of the issues that you have with acne. This lovely young lady presents her rosacea in 2 different forms. The one that you see on your test is telangiectasis, and this is when small blood vessels near the surface of the skin become dilated or enlarged. So if we look kind of like over here on her cheeks, you can see her blood vessels, or you can see almost like the spider veins in her face where they have dilated and basically exposed themselves, right? That is telangiectasis. There's another version of rosacea, and sometimes your clients can have both, like they present both at the same time. Sometimes it's one over the other. The one that is more popular that you see all the time is Cooper Rose. So you ever seen, like, maybe you had like a first grade teacher where her cheeks were just always rosy, right? You're like, oh, she's so nice. Like, no, sis had rosacea, and that's called Cooper Rose. But it's just this slight rosy blush. It looks like they're always blushing, but they always look like that. Whereas this, like, you can literally see the veins in her skin or the blood vessels in her skin. Now, if you have a guest with rosacea and you're in the skincare, my suggestion is sensitive is always the way to go. If she already has skincare items that work well for her, I would get all of that information, do my research, like what ingredients are in her products, because their skin is super duper sensitive. Also, temperature changes. So being in extreme heat, being in the sun for too long, also eating spicy food can also like make this situation worse. Cool beans?
Yeah.
Thanks, Natalie. All right, now let's talk about disorders of the sweat glands or your sudoriferous glands. I remember I was tutoring a young man. I think he was from California too, Nat. And I was teaching him about his sudoriferous glands. And I'm all like, yeah, sudoriferous. And imagine you sweating. And he actually taught me something. So apparently sweat in Spanish is sudo. I didn't know that. And I was like, that totally makes sense. Well, thank you for that, right? But your sudoriferous glands are going to be your sweat glands. And there are 3 different disorders that you could possibly see on your test, and I'll show you how to like memorize them or organize them. The first one is hyperhidrosis. Now go ahead and say it after me so you know how to pronounce it. Hyperhidrosis. And this is a condition characterized by excessive sweating. So y'all know who Ruben Studdard is? Y'all remember that? I'm kind of old. Ruben Studdard was a singer on American Idol, and the whole entire time he was singing, he was literally pouring down sweat. Like it was raining inside. That is a version of hyperhidrosis. Not as a little hot and I'm working out and I'm sweating. Like you are literally profusely sweating constantly. Next, we have anhidrosis. This is literally the opposite of hyperhidrosis. So it's the decreased ability to sweat. This is more serious because, again, remember, sweating is how you get rid of waste out of your body. So if you can't sweat, that means you just building up this waste, right? And then bromidosis is stinky sweat. So like BO. The way I remember this, anytime you put hyper in front of everything, like you literally, that's literally saying you're doing too much. Like if your kids are being hyper, they doing way too much. So at this point, hyperhidrosis is like my sweat glands are doing the most. They're doing way too much. And then bromidosis, you see the word bro, I think of like my brother and stinky sweat. And then I know you're like, Chris, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
But it makes sense. Don't it make sense? Don't your brother?
Yeah.
Right? I know I skipped anhidrosis, but for me, I know there's no way in the world that I can remember everything. But if I can remember 1 or 2 of these, it's going to help me navigate through these test questions when it's time for me to like pick the right multiple choice answer. So I don't have a cute, catchy saying for anhidrosis, but you got the first 2. If you guys come up with one, I want you to share it with me. All right. Let's talk about the contagious stuff. So as a cosmetologist, makeup artist, esthetician, nail tech, right? We basically run the risk of exposure to these contagious diseases. So we got to talk about them. We got to know what to look for and like, how do you navigate through that? So first we have herpes simplex. This is a contagious viral infection and it is characterized by a fever, blister, or a cold sore. So earlier today, we were talking about vesicles. I know that word popped up. The little blisters or the little fever blisters that show up when this herpes virus is present, those are vesicles. So a bula is a big water-filled blister, whereas the little blisters associated with this virus, those are little teeny tiny water-filled blisters. All right, so my guest comes in and she wants a shampoo blow dry, and I notice she has a cold sore. Can I still service this guest? Absolutely. You shouldn't be anywhere around her mouth area and she's getting a shampoo blow dry. Now, let's say your guest is coming for a full face of makeup and she wants you to cover her cold sore. For me, that is not a risk that I'm willing to run. So like, let's salon reality. Maybe instead of her getting a full face, maybe I only offer her lashes, brows, and eye makeup, because this third of your face, like I just don't feel comfortable doing. Does that make sense? And that's totally okay. Berkisa?
I was saying that I agree with.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Next, we have pink eye, aka conjunctivitis. So this is caused by a bacterial infection. Friends, pink eye is highly contagious, highly contagious. And although, we got all these, I guess what you say, like old wives' tales, like how you get pink eye. Like, no one has to fart on your pillow. No, you don't have to put on your client's glasses. It's something so simple as my eye is itchy and like irritated. So I'm just kind of like rubbing it, trying to figure it out. I slept in my contact last night. I don't know what's going on, but I am grabbing a door handle. I'm sitting at your station. I am in the bathroom, and I am literally leaving this bacteria all over the salon. And then all of a sudden, 2 days later, 2 of my girls got pink eye. Why? Because we let our guests remain in the salon with pink eye. So your guest shows up with pink eye. Unfortunately, ma'am, I don't know. Oh, it's not this. It's just allergies. I can't run that risk. You can run up to Minute Clinic. You can run up to CVS, get it checked out. The good thing is, once your client has been started on the medicine, it's no longer contagious. I want to say it's 12 hours, 24 hours. It's no longer contagious. And then lastly, we have a wart, and a wart is caused by the HPV virus, so the human papilloma virus. And they will say, I just had a room to like type it all out, but they will use the word human papilloma virus. And it creates hypertrophy of the papillae and the epidermis. So it creates like this excess growth of skin on that outermost layer of your skin. The challenge with a wart, so this is a plantar wart, so a flat wart that lives on the bottom of your foot. So imagine you are a nail tech or you're interested in doing pedicures. Here in Ohio, everyone has to perform a pedicure with gloves on, and it is because of something like this. You are my best friend. We do each other's feet all the time. You, I don't know, was walking barefoot on a cruise and got plantar warts. I don't know that. You're my girlfriend. I'm just doing your feet like I always do. I grab the bottom of your foot, doing my thing, and now I've contracted warts on my hands.
That hurts, doesn't it? The warts
hurt. It can hurt. Sometimes they don't hurt. It's different. There's so many different types of warts, but they can't hurt. This in particular does hurt. Like, I've literally seen like not little girls, but women who they hunted and hiked and camped, and I don't know what they was touching, frogs, toads, whatever, and they'll have like this little warts on their fingers, and like, oh yeah, I go get it frozen off. Like, you go to the dermatologist and they like zap it off with like dry ice, but it can come back because it's a virus. It lives in your body. Like, it lives there forever. Like, herpes lives there forever. HIV lives there forever. It lives there forever. Any questions on this slide, or can I change it?
And the cold sore, the herpes simplex A, is that like STD or?
So herpes, yes and no. So the STD herpes that you're thinking of is just another version of this herpes. As cosmetologists, we need to be on the lookout for all of it, because you can absolutely have genital herpes on your mouth.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Because I remember my friend, she was like 10 years old and she would have a cold sore.
Yes, so that doesn't.
And I don't think she was doing anything.
No. So it's two versions of it. So
Yeah.
there's the cold sore version that you see in like little kids. You see, you get sick. It's a little fever blister. It's in the corner of your mouth. You put your Carmex on. In 2-3 weeks, it's gone. You may get it once a year when you get a real bad cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
That cold sore is still caused by the herpes virus. Now, genital herpes is like the big brother to this virus.
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. But why did they get that? It's just common, or
skin to skin contact. So mommy has a cold sore. She loves her baby. She kisses her baby. Baby has a cold sore. Mommy has a cold sore. Mommy's drinking orange juice. Mommy leaves the cup on the table. Baby picks up the cup. The baby has, did you get what I'm saying? That's contagion. You're exactly. It's like, how do you get COVID? When people, like when COVID first hit, everybody's like, I know you gave me COVID. Like, girl, you was at Walmart. You have no idea, right? So with a cold sore, so how could you spread herpes in the salon? If she has a cold sore, you do her makeup, you go to the MAC counter, you see how everybody playing that counter, put stuff on their face.
Yeah.
I guarantee somebody got a cold sore, right? When we were 10 years old, we was all sharing each other's lip glosses, right?
Yeah.
We were all drinking, let me get some of your Kool-Aid. Let me get some of we don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah.
I had a stylist explain to me that one of her guests came in and had the herpes virus on her scalp. Right. So now my little brain is like, how in the heck did that happen? So sometimes I've seen stylists place hair items in their mouth, a rubber band. Okay, so everybody on Instagram with all the little braids and all the little designs, and you got to use your pinky, then use your finger, then come back this way. I've watched my students put combs in their mouth. So imagine this stylist has a cold sore. She's holding the comb, she's holding the rubber band, put it on your scalp, go in, part, edge control, all of that. You are literally transferring that virus to the scalp. Like the woman would have to come. When she came, she was the only guest, and the stylist serviced her whole entire service with gloves on. Shampoo, conditioner, blow dry, flat iron, everything with gloves on.
I don't know if I would have had to tell her I couldn't do that.
Listen, absolutely. I said, God bless you, because I can't.
That money, I don't got to have.
You get herpes on your fingers, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's wild out here. Be safe, y'all.
So it's not that with the herpes simple A like complex, does that mean that they have a herpes virus inside their system? If they always
correct. Once you have one cold sore, that virus resides in your body forever.
But it doesn't. But you don't get like genital herpes. You just
no, because that's different herpes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just a different herpes. It's just a different version of herpes. You know what else is also herpes? Chickenpox, shingles, monkeypox. Those are all herpes cousins. That's like big brother herpes, little brother herpes, herpes grandpa, monkey herpes. They all come from the herpes virus, but depending on how it manifests in the body is how it gets the different. You know how COVID is nothing but a flu?
Yeah.
It's like a different version of a flu. You got like
a really bad flu. A really bad flu. Yeah.
A really bad. So it's the big brother of the flus. Same deal with the herpes. Yep. We feel good. Good questions. All right, friends. Are we at the end? Yes, let's go in. Let me make sure. Let's review. Yes. Come through, review. All right, friends, I'm going to pull up the skin diseases and disorders and anatomy quiz. Give me a second. And I am going to let you guys choose. Or do you want me to choose? Y'all tell me how you want to do this. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Yep. Unmute yourself. Get all loosey-goosey. We got about 15 more minutes together. Get all comfortable. Take your shoes off. I'll take this wig off, y'all. Come talk to me. Let's review.
Oh my gosh. Krista, you crack me up.
I will take this wig off.
Can you
Oh,
go
my
over,
gosh.
wait a minute, I think you probably already did. As far as just through the notes, I had for 46, I said lesions of the skin and characterized by piles of material on the skin surface are, and I just put, what is this?
So
For,
that was the definition of a secondary lesion.
yep, it was, okay.
You feel
Now
good?
that we went through it, all this stuff don't make sense now. And
Uh-huh.
then I put for, what did I put for 47? I actually see a picture, and we did get a picture.
Are you on your questions?
Is that what you're doing? Questions? Or
Oh, you okay. I see what you're saying. I was just confused, like, what are we reading? So you have notes. So what you've done, and I love this. This is exactly how I like envisioned it, right? You went through the quiz and you like took notes, like, what is this? I don't understand this, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now we're on the same page. But because you just sat through the lesson, you're like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I put for 48, I thought because I answered C, and I thought this was a myth, and it's actually true, huh?
Mm-hmm. So the question says, which of the following is not an intrinsic aging factor? So when I hear the word intrinsic, it's like something that is happening within myself, something that I can control, right? Like, so which one of these is not intrinsic? And a facial expression actually is intrinsic. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It makes sense, like it. I just always thought that was a myth, when the old people used to say, don't, like making faces, just don't get stuff like that.
I mean, it kind of is a myth. So I won't say it is a myth, but remember I said 90% of the damage comes from the sun exposure.
Yeah.
So it's not a myth, but it ain't. The sun exposure
is the
papa bear of the issues.
Okay.
Does that make sense?